Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Aimal bin Mohammad Nizam, and I'm going to deliver my final assignment for ELC590. According to my topic today, a persuasive speech on the subject of an unpaid internship will likely finish with the words between normal or not normal. Am I right? Alright, first of all, do you think interns should be paid? First and foremost, why is it so? In that case, why not? Since some of you may respond that they should not be compensated since they may be paying more costs today, or because you won't receive anything for nothing. Not enough for them to complete their work with the money they were given. They are either a waste of money or a fake worker. I recently received a call from one of my close friends asking for placement for an internship. Of course, I gave him some advice on where to find an internship, but then my memory suddenly flooded with everything I had learned while working as an intern, and I realized how valuable it was. We often hear that being an intern is an easy job where you simply make a coffee, tea, and other beverages. Well, maybe you have experienced and had that, but not all companies do that. As a former intern student, I must advise you that you should be aware of your value as an intern student since you do the same duties as the other employees but did not receive at least an appropriate amount for your job descriptions. Why? Because you go to work, use transportation, eat and have your own living expenditures, just like the other workers and employees do. Therefore, occasionally you could also require stationery, uniform, etc., and all of it costs money. Where will your source of money come from if you are underpaid? Of course, where you work is important, and reportedly in Malaysia, 43% of internship at for-profit businesses are underpaid. Can you believe how many internship students are being taken advantage of and exploited with the same amount of labor but different incomes? It is absurd. Only young individuals from the most fortunate homes ultimately qualify under this restriction. This widens the income gap between generations and intentionally blocks marginalized people's path to the equal opportunity. So I'm not here to demand that employers pay interns the same as workers, but I am here to support my friends who are employees. There are some of the ways you, an employer, may improve the compensation for your internship. You may thus decide on a reasonable level of allowance for the organization. I meant by a sensible amount of allowance that appropriate that you can pay for that students. For instance, we all know the hardship of living now, right? For internship students and give what their work requirements. Therefore, I recommend paying them at least 600 ringgit each month. Paying them at the end of the month as other employees do since they need money just like us. Additionally, from my perspective, the government will play the largest part in the improvements we wish to see. Malaysia should recognize internship students' potential to become the country's future leader or employee. As you all know, the Employment Act of 1995 defines employee as those who have signed into a contract or services with a monthly pay of 2,000 ringgit or less. Therefore, it saddens me that there is no regulation governing internships to safeguard them while they also help the firm expand. I really hope one day they will revise the act and take seriously about internship students. According to the Act, apprenticeships contracts are considered to be a contracts of service, but most interns won't be covered by provision as an apprenticeships needs to be supported by a written contract for at least 2 years. Therefore, for your interns, all you need to do is look for businesses that pay you fairly because we can all relate to the disappointment of seeing some business and even government agencies expect students to work for them for no pay at all. However, things started to change for students when former Youth and Sports Minister Mr. Syed Saddiq brought up this issue in the legislature and demanded that students to be paid for the internship. But it appears that right now some corporations still don't pay their interns for their work. Imagine if interns were still receiving unappreciated internships with a ton of work while they were neglected. You cannot advise the intern to keep quiet and simply complete their task as instructed, since after all, they are only humans. Disadvantages? Yes. If you look at today's happiness thermometer, you know what it is? Okay. You can see the difference. If you are a student, a nursing student, then chances that you must complete an internship in order to graduate, but doing so while being underpaid and with a lot of work is not on your to-do list. This has an impact on your mental and physical health because it makes you feel like all of your hard work was in vain because your employer did not take enough care of their intern students. Just to get you to graduate, consider how exhausted you will be if you had to balance your internship with dealing with both financial and academic issues. Of course, an internship is a chance for students to gain useful industry experience, and a certain amount of training and supervision is typically required. But with underpaid issue, you will lose your motivation to complete all of your work. Your quality, which should be good, will decline simply because of you are aware that no matter how hard you work for the company, they will ultimately pay less. Yet, you continue to believe that unpaid interns are the norm. Just consider the fact that everyone here needs money. Thus, being underpaid is worrying, perhaps not just for you, given all the issues that arise daily. However, the interns are just like salt added to a salty soup, making the situation worse. I again appeal to all parties in charge of internship students to do something to at least guarantee the interns' right, because they are important to our future, and underpaid internships are not common. So that's all from me, Muhammad Aimal bin Muhammad Nizam, for SR241 and B. Thank you all.